Hey guys, so this is a classic Woolfio's build. Just using a meme build is not enough, I have to add some other niche mechanics to this. So this is a reflect totems using the Torchoak boots, reflect totems, and I added Soul Eater. Now this build is not great. I thought that reflect damage is gonna scale pretty well, and it kind of works well enough. You can kind of do up to tier 16 maps, but if you juice up, it's just not that great. Overall, it's just kind of a meme. However, this build does have some interesting synergies, and I think this is working really well, and it maybe could be used for some other builds, although probably not really. So the main idea is Torchoak boots. Totems reflect 100% of their maximum life as fire damage to nearby enemies when hit. In order to make totems get hit, you essentially equip Eye of Innocence, and each time they ignite an enemy, they will hit themselves. When that happens, they also proc that reflect. This is a reflect damage as well, so there is no way to directly increase its damage. The only couple of ways to increase the damage are get more totem life, get more cast speed or attack speed if you're using attack totems to proc ignites quicker, and then debuff enemies like exposure, lower their resistances, shock, things like that. Nothing else will increase the damage. None of the increased fire damage, none of the penetration, nothing like that. I'm actually not even sure if area of this reflect even scales. I tried getting increased AoE charms per endurance charge, and I got like over 110 or something like that increased AoE, and I couldn't really tell if the AoE is getting bigger or not. I'm gonna put like a quick video on screen. Can you tell if the AoE on the right is bigger than AoE on the left? It's really hard to tell. So in the end, I just dropped the endurance charge AoE scaling idea. Went with the Holy Flame totems, by the way. I always do Holy Flame totems, and yes, you can do ballistas. Go do ballistas. Every time I do this kind of nonsense build, people, oh, but ballistas, you can have more ballistas. The main problem is that totems don't stack in like one spot. They kind of spread out a bit, and if you have many of them, we're gonna spread out a lot. And we're not gonna overlap on the same target. We're gonna keep pulling enemies. By the way, the reverse knockback is with the Empire's Grasp. I have one with the elemental weakness on hit and cast speed double corrupt. And Eye of Innocence is with additional curse, but I don't have anointment. I haven't really finished building this. Like I could replace my rings and the shield as well, but it wouldn't really change much. I even tried running with Pro Genesis, and my build still felt like squish. I don't know what's happening with this. I have 8,500 armor. I have currently 21% of the damage taken is taken from Totem's life before my life. And it feels like that modifier somehow makes me take increased damage. I do have Purity of Elements, so I am immune to shocks, and I have Determination. And like I said, the totems absorb part of the damage from me. And even with Progenesis, which absorbs another 25%, like 25% of the damage taken is taken over 4 seconds, it still feels like I'm taking a lot of damage, so I'm not sure what's happening with this. But here's the cool part about this synergy. This node, Chieftain's node, recoup 25% of the damage taken by your totems as life. I recoup the damage that totems take. And totems take damage because they hit enemy, they ignite, and they take damage from Eye of Innocence. So essentially, the faster totems ignite, the more damage they take, the more damage I recoup from totems. And in addition to that, because I redirect the damage into totems, 21%, because I only have 3 charm modifiers, like these charm modifiers, because totems take part of the damage which I redirect with the charms and the mastery, I also get recoup from that. So I get hit, totems take part of that, and they recoup that part to me. But more importantly is the faster they ignite, the faster they do damage to themselves, the more recoup I get. And that recoup gets really crazy when you combine with Soul Eater. That way they get like fatter hits, fatter attacks per second very easily, and we don't have a hit rate cap because it's a channeling skill. We can actually get over 90 hits per second with the single Holy Flame totem. Imagine if they ignite 100 times per second. They take 25 flat damage 100 times per second, so that's 2500 per second. From that I recoup, but that builds up over like 4 seconds, and that's from just one totem, and I have 4 totems, so I can actually get some crazy life recoup. This kind of feels weird combining with Soul Eater and the Eye of Innocence and the Totem Reflect, but it works really well. Now I am using the cheaper voices, the 5-point voices, which costed a bit more than Divine. and then using 3 medium jewels for the flash duration with 35 effect, and using adorned and stacking flask effect duration magic corrupted jewels. So from this I'm getting 22% increased flask effect duration. I'm also getting a recoup from the damage I take. So there's like really cool synergy. I get damaged, I recoup, but also redirect part of the damage to golems, to totems. They recoup that part back to me, and I also provide them regen from my own region. So like I don't have much regen, and once I ramp up a lot of cast speed, the totems actually die in like 1 or 2 seconds. I sometimes saw a 400 Soul Eater stack, so at that point we are hitting almost 90 times per second each totem. At that point, their life pool is not that high. They only have 9.6k life, and yeah, they die in a couple seconds at that point. Now, getting chance to ignite was a bit annoying, and getting knockback was a bit annoying, but initially I had these nodes. I went through here, and then had this one here, but without medium cluster jewels, but later reworked a bit into having 3 medium cluster jewels. This way, like I had to lose knockback and knockback chance and knockback distance, but once you get 50 hits per second, it doesn't matter. It's gonna suck enemies in from all around the world, I guess. So yeah, this build sucks in a good way. Alright, I also do have the Chieftain explosion, so it does help with the clear speed quite a bit. And I did want to rework into Flamewood build, but after checking the numbers, it wasn't really very promising. Like it would have like 43 million damage, like kind of per second, but that's actually a very low number. One of my totems last league could do that amount of damage, only one of my totems. And now this is 43 million with 14 totems. Yep, with 14 totems. So I think I'm not gonna be reworking this build into replica Iron Commander strength stacking, like 450 average hit damage from what, like it would look cool, 14 totems, if you could stack those 14 totems in a spot where they all get hit. Maybe it would look cool, all those 14 totems just shoot in the air like 7 projectiles each, so that's almost 100 projectiles into the air, and then they all land onto a single enemy. It could look cool, so I'm gonna include this path of building import code in video description as well. This is actually not really optimized. Like the flask, don't mind the flask. I have not swapped the flask. Just like a basic idea was seeing how much strength I can stack and how many totems I can get and how much damage I can get. But yeah, this one doesn't really look tanky. I'm not sure about the survivability. So yeah, I will include this path of building import code in video description as well if you want to kind of do it. Because strength stacking and it's a spell, so you can take Iron Will, it does give a lot of damage as well at this point. That's pretty much it for this video. I think I kind of want to do another Soul Eater, like a proper Soul Eater build, because this did not start as a Soul Eater idea. I want to do Cleave of Rage with the Soul Eater. And I did Fear Crafted, and like I'm not sure how it's gonna feel. I'm gonna try to sustain Berserk for a very long time, because like imagine getting like 50 attacks per second and you get Rage each time you attack with Cleave of Rage. But I'm gonna be using Multi-Strike, and that's, I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe I will be able to sustain Rage very quickly and will be able to run Berserk and even Rage Vortex of Berserking for extra like passive hits per second. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.